Hi, Stephen from Owner Disown. I have reached 8,000 subscribers, so thanks for your support, and it's time for my game giveaway. Now, you should know the drill by now, but if you don't, the first person to spot the geek here and email me the time frame he is in wins a game of your choice up to $50 on Steam or G2A. I'll put my email address in the description below, and once it's claimed, I'll pin a comment so that everybody knows. Good luck. So today we are taking a look at the Razer phone and Google's Pixel 2 XL. Now this is Razer's first phone and it's a very good first attempt. For $700 you get the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor, a whopping 8 gigs of RAM and 64 gigabytes of internal storage that is expandable via micro SD card. They maintain a similar styling to all of their notebooks with a slate grey anodized aluminium body. Now, instead of rounded corners that would certainly make it easier to hold in the hand, it has a distinctive slab-like appearance with the Razer emblem on the back. It has a 5.7-inch IGZO LCD screen with a resolution of 2560 by 1440 and an aspect ratio of 16:9. They also use IGZO backplane or indium gallium zinc oxide for the displays on their laptops. Now, the advantages of IGZO technology is twofold. It is very power efficient and it also has very sensitive screens. This makes it ideal for the type of phone that Razer is bringing to the market, a phone with a class-leading 120Hz capable display providing ultra-smooth and responsive gaming. You can also manually switch the refresh rate to 60 or 90Hz to save power. But if you choose to keep it at 120Hz, the phone will operate at that when the screen is actually being used, again to save power. As a result, the phone comes with a huge 4,000 mAh battery, some 480 mAh larger than the Pixel 2 XL. In order to make space for this large battery, Razer had to forego the 3.5mm headphone jack, but it does include an inline THX certified DAC 3.5mm adapter. Razer also includes two front-facing speakers, each with their own amplifier. The Google Pixel 2 XL is similar in size but has a slightly longer 6-inch display with an aspect ratio of 18:9 and a resolution of 2880 by 1440. Like the Razer, it still manages to fit in two front-firing speakers, and it does have larger bezels than the Razer, but not by much. But it does mean that the Razer's display is slightly wider. Under the hood, it also has a Snapdragon 835 processor, but has much less RAM, a normal amount, 4 GB, which should be more than enough. With 50 apps and 30 internet tabs open and all the internal memory used on the Razer, I only use 2.2 GB of RAM, and in a similar test on my LG V30, that only used 3 gigs. You might have an issue with a phone with more bloatware, but a big draw for going with the Pixel is that it's stock Android, which makes it quick and smooth to operate. Now, not that the Razer is a slouch by any means. It uses Nova Launcher, which is very popular, and even with it fully loaded, it never slows down or stutters. And indeed, the Razer phone is about 4 seconds quicker when running Geekbench 4, producing a multi-thread score 100 points ahead of the Pixel 2 XL. From a cold start, the Pixel 2 XL is the fastest to boot, but to be honest, even without a restart, they remain fast and stutter-free. So, which phone is better for games, music and watching movies? Now, the Razer comes pre-installed with 3 games that supposedly make use of the 120Hz display. There's Titanfall Assault, World of Tanks and Gear Club. I tested Gear Club and World of Tanks on both phones, and without a doubt, fast-paced games such as Gear Club is smoother on the Razer phone. Not that the Pixel was bad, it just wasn't as fluid. World of Tanks is a slower paced game, and I didn't notice as much difference there. Nor did I notice any difference in the sensitivity when I was using the touchscreen controls. How about movies? Well, watching the same 4K footage on both phones at full brightness makes it clear that the Pixel 2 XL provides a much more fulfilling experience. Colours are more vibrant, details are sharper, and the contrast is better. But what draws you into the Razer is its superior audio. Its speakers are louder and they have more bass. Pixel 2 XL got about 78 decibels versus 80 on the Razer. Now, if you're listening to audio via wired headphones, it is also a better experience. I would estimate that with the Pixel at max volume, the Razer needs to be around about 80% volume to achieve the same loudness. Both phones come with a fingerprint reader to turn it on rather than using Face ID. Now I do prefer it on the Pixel 2 XL as it's located on the back and easy to find. It's not a button, so it doesn't depress, but it does provide some nice haptic feedback. The Razer phone uses a button that is located on the right hand side, so you use your thumb. This is perfectly fine, but it nearly lies flush with the rest of the phone, and to be honest, initially it is quite hard to locate, but after a while it becomes second nature. The only thing is that to turn the phone off, you press the button, but to turn it on, you have to place your thumbs lightly on it. If you press it in, nothing happens. What I do like is the sound the Razer makes when you turn it off and on. Often, I would just find myself doing this just for the sake of doing it. So how do the cameras compare? The Pixel has one rear 12.2 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture and a pixel size of 1.4 micrometers. There's no zoom lens, however, whilst the Razer does have a 12 megapixel 1.7 wide angle lens and a 8x2 zoom lens. The Razer's front camera is also 12 megapixel, whilst the Pixel 2 XL is 8 megapixel. So to be fair, on paper, you would think that the Razer is an easy win for the Razer, but unfortunately this is not the case. Looking at this well-lit shot of some fruit, the Pixel 2 XL produces great natural colours, whilst the Razer phone clearly overexposes the shot. You can't make out any of the details on the lemons. Looking at my office with good lighting, again the Razer seems to overexpose as you lose details on the microphone on the table. Colours are also muted. The orange on the gun is definitely more muddier and the green on the EVGA box is less vibrant. I am expecting low light photos to be better on the Razer, and indeed it produces more details in the shade areas like on the Garmin box, but on brighter areas such as the cables on the table, lots of details are lost. Looking at the same room using the flash, the Razer seems to produce less noise and more details, but its flash is very hit and miss. Look at these shots. Each image just gets very muddy, and to be honest, this is how it looks most of the time. This is even after the recent update. The Pixel 2 XL, whilst perhaps not the best I have seen, it does make a nice clean shot. A lot has been said on how good the portrait mode is on the Pixel 2 XL, given that it just has one lens and does the blurred bokeh effect using software. And indeed, it is great for faces or similar bulky objects, but it really has a hard time doing things like laptops, which to be honest is a blow for me. Now out of the box, the Razer phone can't do bokeh effects at all, but there should be an update later this year which will allow it. But ironically, you can sideload the previous Google camera app and it actually does decent shots. Not as good as my S7 Edge, nor as good the Pixel on people's faces, but it is actually much better on laptops. The wide angle lens on the Razer definitely allows you to see more in your shots, but unfortunately details are lacking. For example, when I zoom into the bark on this tree. But it does do a good job of focusing on an object like these sandwiches and slightly blurring the background. One thing I use my phone for is for overhead shots when I'm doing my unboxing videos. I put my phone in this holder, but the button placement on the Pixel is rather awkward as the clamp presses against the buttons if it's centrally located. Moving the clamp along the edge of the phone here makes the phone tilt at an angle, so it's a little bit tough to do. The Razer is better because the power button is slightly indented. Here's what the footage looks like, and I do think I prefer the Pixels. It does produce more details and has a larger field of view, and thus a clearer view of the subject. When shooting a video whilst holding it, it is also better on the Pixel 2 XL. Image stabilization is definitely superior. Doing a selfie video using the front cameras both produce decent images, but I would say the mic is better on the Pixel. Both pick up wind noise, but the Pixel does do a slightly better job at reducing it. Alright, front facing camera stability test on the Pixel 2 XL. And I think again it looks pretty good, nice and clear. Optical image stabilization on the front facing camera on the Razer phone here. So it seems okay, doesn't it? Using the front camera for low light video is just okay on both phones. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. Pixel 2 XL is also able to do nice portrait shots using the front camera. The object image is very lifelike. Whilst on the Razer, the selfie photos aren't as good unless you have good lighting. What is call quality like?
This is a call quality test on the Razer phone. Hopefully this one's through.
Hello, this is the call quality test on the Pixel 2 XL. Hopefully it's coming through nice and clear.
I would say my voice sounds clearer on the Pixel 2 XL. After an update, the Razer phone was able to join the Pixel 2 in having an always-on display. The Razer just displays the time and date, whilst the Pixel 2 does show some notifications. Now it is much brighter on the Razer, which definitely eats through battery life, and unlike the Pixel 2, you can't seem to turn it off. Before it was enabled, I would finish the day with about 40% of battery left, but now I get about 10%. As you can see here, the screen on the Razer uses an insane amount of battery. To test it further, I turned both phones on in the morning, the Pixel having the SIM card in and connected to Wi-Fi, whilst the Razer was just connected to Wi-Fi. I used the Pixel to do the odd video chat and didn't use the Razer at all. The Pixel went to 90%, whilst the Razer went down to 79%. It definitely needs the option to turn that ambient display off. The Pixel 2 XL charges up quicker than the Razer, taking 62 minutes to get to an 80% level, or equivalent to 2,800 mAh. The Razer, to reach that same level of 2,800 mAh or 70%, takes 66 minutes. Not a huge difference, and either way you can charge them up both pretty quickly. So the Razer has its 120Hz display to make it stand out. What does the Pixel 2 XL have? Well, first, it's got this excellent feature that tells you the name of a song and artist when it is on its ambient display. It's always listening. Perhaps not as quick as, say, Shazam, but it works very reliable, and it works even when people are talking around you. The other cool feature about this is that you can then just click on it and get the lyrics from Google. The second useful feature is squeezing the phone to use the Google Assistant.
What was the Sunderland score today?
Sunderland lost 2-0 today against Middlesbrough.
Now, I was never one for saying, "Hello, Google." It's a little bit more awkward in my wallet case, but it's still possible. One thing that is also fun is using the camera for augmented reality. It's more of a gimmick at the moment, but not only can you take photos of it, but you can also incorporate it in videos. At the moment, it's mainly Star Wars stuff, but I think over time we should see more options. People have reported that the Pixel 2 has screen burn-in, and Google has issued an update to fix this. I believe the main problem was on the control buttons at the bottom. I opened up a grey image and left it there for quite a while and noticed no burn-in, so in my opinion it's a non-issue now. As for the blue tint on a white balance image, I honestly thought it was no more blue than on the Razer. Now, whether an update has fixed this, I don't know, but it looks okay to me. One issue the Razer has is its screen is not very bright. Using my light meter, I measured 197 lux on the Razer versus 320 on the Pixel 2 XL at full brightness. You can still see the Razer outside, but it could be an issue on a bright sunny day. The keyboard is slightly larger on the Razer due to the wider screen, but I do get less spelling mistakes. I got 2 errors on the Razer versus 4 on the Pixel 2 XL. Now that is pretty good. It's nearly as good as the iPhone 10. To sum up then, if gaming and audio quality is your priority, the Razer phone will do you very well. If you do a lot of typing, it is better too. But if you value a better camera, quick updates, and the ability to do say Google Daydream VR, then the Pixel 2 XL is the way to go. Both phones will last a full day, and hopefully Razer will update their ambient display so it doesn't chew through battery. Now, for their first attempt, Razer did very well, and I look forward to seeing the Razer 2 phone. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.